So this is Hannah Catherine Ellis responding to the out-of-school experience for CFS 350. This is my first time doing a video, so hopefully this all goes very well. So I went to the Mediterranean Market located at 8373 Kingston Pike in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was a very interesting experience, to say the least. When I actually missed it coming in for the first time whenever I was driving to find it, because it was in a little market to the right of me, and it was like in a area with other businesses. So I almost missed it, but I'm glad I found it because it's a little hidden gem. I'm very glad I got to go. I was a little uncomfortable at first, if I'm being completely honest, when I first walked into the store. First off, there weren't any other cars in the parking lot whenever I came in, so that was a little unnerving at first, not really seeing any other people there. I didn't really know how this was going to go. I didn't even know if the store was open, which it was at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I assumed it was, which it was. Yay. So I walked in, and as expected, there were no other cars, or there were no other people in the store. I was the only person there. It was myself and then the manager, who was behind the counter. So it was quite interesting to have a feeling. I was very uncomfortable whenever I walked in. The eyes were on me. Every little move that I made, the manager's eyes followed, and if I would pick up something just to see what it was, I'm sure he was wondering if I was going to buy it, if I was going to purchase it, or if I was just looking at it. It was a little uncomfortable at first. When you walk in, you see shelves, and then you have different products on those shelves. So you have everything from olives and crackers and cheeses to pastas and pita breads. And then in the back, you have some very interesting products. They had a refrigerator that had lamb in it, and then goat meat. Very interesting. I never considered that as a actual product I would even think about purchasing, but very interesting. They had quite a bit of candy, different, like I said, olives and different types of cheeses. Very interesting to see. But one particularly thing that stood out to me that they offered was clothing. I was not aware that they I didn't even think that they would sell this, but they sold clothing for both men and women there. It was a small section towards the back right corner of the store. They had, for men and women, it was silk. It was different colors, long sleeve silk dresses in the Arabic style. So very beautiful. I got the opportunity to touch and feel and really experience that material. It was very interesting to see and feel. Overall, like I said, very kind of uncomfortable at first. I didn't really know what to do because the labels were all in Arabic. The labels were not in English, which is something I was not used to. Very interesting though, to pick them up and see the different ingredients and the different pictures, and the setup of the store was very similar to a mainstream store which I'm used to going into, such as Kroger or Publix or Walmart. So very, very interesting. I found it very interesting that the store candy aisles had a bunch of different colors, which was very geared toward children should they have come in. Again, unfortunately, I did not have the opportunity to see a parent and a child or a mother and a child interact with each other because I was the only person in the store. But if I had, I imagine that I would have seen a child, reach for the candy or reach for the animal crackers that were on the side of the store at their level, which is something that we have learned about when discussing setup of a classroom, is putting the different materials and objects geared for the children at their level so they can become more independent and they can reach for them. So it was something I very much noted. I can definitely see how the different products geared toward them would benefit the store and the children themselves. I imagine if I had seen a mother and a child interact, though, I would have heard the mother or the parent or whoever it may be, the guardian, with them explain the nutritional values of the candies and of the crackers and the cheeses that the child would be reaching for at that level. I was very uncomfortable with the meats. I try not to judge a book by its cover by all means. I'm usually very open person, but I found myself questioning the lamb and the goat meat there. I just am not accustomed to it. I discovered something for myself personally, that if I'm not extremely comfortable with one thing, that I tend to second guess myself. I should be more open. If I'm hopefully going to be a teacher, so I will experience children who have different dietary preferences and children who have different dietary needs. And if I have a child that comes in and they, enjoy the lamb meat and they enjoy the different types of food that I'm not accustomed to. I know in the ELC for snack time they serve banana bites, which is a very Americanized snack. It's a tortilla with peanut butter and a banana rolled into one, cut up into pieces, and the children very much enjoy them. But I would be interested to see how, if we brought in some of the foods, maybe like a lamb slider or a mini sandwich with the different goat meat or lamb meat, how the children would react to that. Would they be more open to trying this? Would they be more very close-minded, like myself would be? I imagine that if someone offered me a lamb or a goat meat sandwich, I would not be completely 100%, oh yes, let me try that. So very interesting to think about. Again, the products and the building itself was made me a little bit uncomfortable at first, but the longer I was in there, the more I grew accustomed to it. All eyes were on me as I was going around the store and picking up the items and looking at them, looking at the labels, checking them out. I found it very interesting and a very good thing that should a person who, like me, could not read Arabic and is not used to seeing those products, could figure out what those products were and what they could be used for by looking at the different labels. It was a very user-friendly store in terms of product-wise, but the products were not what I would imagine being sold in a Mediterranean market. Some were, but most were not. I did understand that there were olives in the pita bread, and like I said, the cheeses and the meats that were sold. But those were the basic components. There was not as much variety. There was the candy aisles. There were 4 different aisles. I would be interested to see how a child and a mother, or anyone actually, would react in that store. I imagine though that the children would be like the candy that I tried, even though they looked like a candy that I was used to, the Jolly Ranchers. Once you try them, even though they look the same, they have their own textures and flavors and specialties about them that make them that special candy. And like I said, I'd be very interested to see how the children react inside that classroom or inside that store if we brought some of the products inside from the store to their classroom. If they would enjoy it, or if they'd be adventurous. I would be interested to see how a parent would react if we, as the ELC, took a field trip there, what their thoughts would be. Since it is a very not so typical grocery store, one thought that I had in mind was one of the stations at the ELC, when they play in the imaginary play, they just had a grocery area where they had boxes of cereal and boxes of different products that they would find at a grocery store. And they had these little baskets. So would the children compare that to that? Would they request to have more Mediterranean style foods in the play area, or would they be completely against it, and would they not think anything of it? Very interesting to think about. I am very much looking forward to hearing about other people's experiences in their markets and see what they thought of and think of. Just to recap, overall, a slightly uncomfortable experience for me, definitely a lot more uncomfortable experience than the bus ride was, but the longer I was there, the more comfortable I got. As I'm sure a child would feel in a classroom with new people and new experiences, something that they don't know and are not accustomed to. So overall moral of the story, it takes time to get used to something that you don't know, but overall it can be a very wonderful and amazing thing. I cannot wait to hear and see other people's stories. Thank you so much.